You're watching EAC News. Thank you for joining us. Cambodia's National Council for Children is appealing to the public for understanding of the situation of the minor who has killed his 5-year-old neighbor in Tabongkamun. EAC News has confirmed that the suspect is 14 years old, not 15, as previously reported. CNCC Deputy Secretary General Ms. Samba Tsukuntia has told EAC News that his age has a direct impact on how the case is being handled. EAC News reporter Reo Soko explains.
Article 14 of Cambodia's Juvenile Justice Law Strategic and Operational Plan 2018-2020 says that a minor below 14 years old who is suspected of committing an offense shall not be apprehended and will be referred to their district representative. CNCC Deputy Secretary General Ms. Sambat Sokontia has clarified that the minor in question is 14. Deputy Chief of the Chuk Commune, where the murder was committed, Sun Ming Lai, has also confirmed the child's age. But the fact that he is 14 and not under 14 has created a gray area for the court. He was going to be sent to Provincial Social Affairs but was returned to the court on Wednesday night, given that he is not under the age of 14. He remains in the care of the court until a further decision is made. In the meantime, local resident Pan Dun submitted an affidavit to the court stating that the child suspect is homeless and has no parents taking care of him. He apparently sleeps in the local pagoda. According to the CNCC, his parents separated several years ago. His mother later died while his father remarried and relocated. The minor, who also suffers with a mental health problem, has allegedly confessed to killing his 5-year-old neighbor after being bullied. The CNCC is urging the public to understand the minor's situation.
All the children are victims. Some are victims of their family, some are victims of the society. So please don't hate him. Before you make judgment, please try to understand why they do it. He is just a child with a mental health problem. He also has a right to be taken care of.
The CNCC has assured the public that if the minor is released by the court, he will receive proper counseling before being reintegrated back into society. Rhea Soko, EAC News.
You're watching EAC News. Thank you for joining us. Cambodia's latest batch of vaccines arrived in the country on Thursday morning. The 1 million doses of Sinopharm take to 16 million the number of doses that have been delivered to the kingdom since the first batch was delivered in the first week of February. They were also made by Sinopharm. The special China Southern Airlines flight landed at Phnom Penh International just before 9:45 on Thursday morning. The 1 million doses of Sinopharm it was carrying have been bought from China, and there's plenty more on the way this month.
Cambodia will get all the planned 20 million doses of COVID-19 vaccines for 10 million people, or 62% of the total population, by the end of this month. In August, 3 million doses of Sinovac will arrive in Cambodia and 2 million more in September for the vaccination of children between 12 and 17 years old.
The Sinopharm shots, quickly loaded into the back of trucks, will be going into arms shortly, although now at 21-day intervals, not 14. The Ministry of Health made that change earlier this month to increase their efficacy. Studies have shown that the extra 7 days increase protection levels by over 25%. More vaccine doses will be arriving on Friday. 332,000 doses of AstraZeneca, donated by Japan, will arrive on Friday evening. Prime Minister Hun Sen will be there to receive them personally. Cambodia is also expecting its next shipment of COVAX doses in the coming weeks, which will be approximately 1 million doses of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. As of Thursday, 6.3 million people in Cambodia have received at least one shot. 4.25 million adults are fully vaccinated. The royal government is aiming to fully vaccinate 10 million adults before November, with the vaccination of children aged between 12 and 17 also being scheduled. You're watching EAC News. Thank you for joining us. Foreign Affairs Minister Mr. Prak Sokhonn says cooperation between the countries of the Mekong and India has helped develop the Mekong region. He was speaking on Wednesday night as he co-chaired the 11th Mekong Ganja Cooperation Foreign Ministers meeting. Foreign ministers were reviewing the progress the partnership has made since its inception 20 years ago, with 38 projects already completed and another 30 still underway. EAC News reporter Reo Soko has the story.
Foreign Affairs Minister Mr. Prak Sokhonn says the projects and activities under the Mekong Ganja framework have constituted an active part of the Mekong subregion's development in the fields of health, education, environment, and culture. He says that the relationship between Mekong countries and India has significantly contributed to mutual understanding and trust, as well as the socio-economic well-being of its peoples. Together with his peers, Mr. Sokhonn praised the mutual support countries have been giving one another in the fight against COVID-19. Going forward, further meetings will be held to accelerate the process of the post-pandemic recovery, as well as to promote public health and ensure health security, especially in relation to the development of medical research and the production and distribution of drugs and vaccines. Rhea Soko, EAC News.
You're watching EAC News. Thank you for joining us. Large parts of the world are dealing with climate-triggered catastrophes, with record rainfall in China prompting the worst floods in living memory. They come a week after record-breaking floods in Europe. Scientists agree that this is climate change happening right in front of our eyes. And it is these stories that are dominating world headlines this Thursday, the 22nd of July. No one remembers floods like this ever happening in Henan. The northern Chinese province normally sees very little rain in the summer, but at least 25 people have been swept away as record rains leave much of the area submerged. China's Ministry of Emergency Management has dispatched an 1,800-member rescue team. The Central Theatre Command of the People's Liberation Army has mobilized a further 5,700 troops. With heavy rain continuing to lash Henan, authorities have raised the flood emergency reaction level to 2, its second highest. It has never been raised in Henan before. More than 160,000 people have been evacuated. As a heatwave grips southwestern England, Britain's Met Office has issued its first ever amber extreme heat warning, saying unusually high temperatures and continuing high nighttime temperatures are creating a potential health risk. While ice cream sellers in London have been doing a roaring trade, experts say there's little to celebrate. They believe the hot weather has been brought on by climate change and that the British capital should brace itself for more 30-degree days that will soon become the norm. And climate change is also being blamed for the sheer extent of this year's wildfire season in the US. Satellite footage shows just how bad it is, with smoke wafting as far east as New York City. Pollution levels in the Big Apple are at record highs due to the smoke and soot. 80 fires are burning in 13 western states. Several hundred fires are also burning in central and western Canada. At least 85 of those are out of control. The western fires have all coincided with record-breaking temperatures. Hundreds of people have been killed. You're watching EAC News. Thanks for joining us. NASA's Mars rover Perseverance has started its historic hunt for signs of ancient life on the red planet. The rover has been working 7 days a week to test and practice with its sophisticated instruments that have now started taking soil samples from the Jezero crater. Scientists believe this was once a lake bed that may hold evidence of primitive life. NASA has already produced evidence of ancient rivers flowing into the crater that formed a delta region similar to southern Vietnam. Previous rovers have detected clay, which only forms in the presence of water. With its robotic arms, Perseverance is now drilling down into that clay to take samples. Among the questions scientists are hoping to one day answer is whether the soil in Jezero is sedimentary or volcanic, and whether the ancient lake went through multiple episodes of filling up and drying out again. Finely layered rock has already been photographed by Perseverance, raising hopes that evidence of life might be found in those layers. But we've got a long time to wait for answers. Samples will be collected over the next few months, but it won't be until 2031 when those samples are collected and returned to Earth.
Welcome back to the Daily Roundup. You're watching EAC News, and thank you for joining us. We are less than 24 hours away from the official start of the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games. Everything seems ready, with Japanese fighter pilots even drawing the Olympic rings over the skies of Tokyo yesterday. Tokyo is receiving plenty of support from global leaders, with US First Lady Jill Biden leading the US diplomatic delegation, and national teams are ready to fight for the medals and the glory. The second last ceremony for the Olympic torch relay was held in Tokyo on Wednesday. People seem happy, and 16-year-old Tsubasa Wada, whose father was a torchbearer, said she thought it was good that the Tokyo Games are being held. International leaders are showing support for Tokyo, with US President Joe Biden seeing the Games as a critical moment to show support for a long-time ally and trading partner. While we're being told that the opening ceremony will be sober, there was hints of what we can expect on Friday night. Japan's aerobatic squadron put in a final rehearsal on Wednesday, taking the Olympic rings to new heights. You're watching EAC News, and thank you for joining us. It's one of the world's most popular recreational drugs, and is being legalized in more and more countries around the world. But scientists have long wondered where marijuana first came from. It was long thought to be somewhere in Southern Asia, but that's not what a new study has found. The Science Advances journal says cannabis was one of the first plants to be domesticated by humans and has a long history of being used in textiles, food, and fuel. But its history has been difficult to research for legal reasons, at least until now. Researchers have found that cannabis was being widely used as a recreational drug as far back as 12,000 years ago, and likely emerged from northern China. After its domestication, it slowly spread across Europe and the Middle East in the Bronze Age, traveling to Africa in the 13th century before arriving in North America at the beginning of the 20th century. With decriminalization in many parts of the world has come commercialization. The cannabis market in the US alone is expected to be worth over $30 billion by the end of next year. While there has been some talk of decriminalizing marijuana in Cambodia, the drug remains illegal in the kingdom.
EAC News fully supports the Royal Government of Cambodia's preventative and administrative measures against COVID-19. But we need you to play your part in helping bring the 20 February community transmission event to an end. Wash your hands regularly, sanitize wherever possible. Keep an eye on your body temperature. Use the Stop COVID QR code and maintain a safe social distance. But above all, please, 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 wear a mask. Only together can we beat COVID-19. eArts Cambodia's audience is growing. Our YouTube channel now has 150,000 verified subscribers. To mark the milestone, we've received the Silver Creator Award from YouTube, given to channels with over 100,000 subscribers. YouTube CEO Susan Wojcicki says the award celebrates eArts Cambodia's hard work and incredible achievement. She says not only has eArts Cambodia brought a unique voice and style to the world, but has also created valuable connections and built a community along the way. The next milestone we're going for is 1 million subscribers, and we'd really like that Gold Creator Award. So if you're not already a subscriber, head to www.youtube.com/eArtsCambodia, Subscribers get all the latest breaking news and updates from Cambodia in English. We'll see you there. If it's happening and you need to know about it, you'll get it all right here. EAC News brings you updates and breaking news in English across all of eArts Cambodia's platforms and channels. YouTube, Facebook, Telegram, Twitter, and our website www.eartscambodia.com. Join me, Andrew Barnes-Roberts, and the rest of the EAC News team every day on your favorite channels. EAC News, Cambodia made clear. You're watching EAC News. Thank you for joining us. Prime Minister Hun Sen has encouraged people not to forget to exercise to keep themselves healthy and prevent serious COVID-19 disease. On Tuesday night, he posted pictures of himself exercising on Facebook, telling those under quarantine to keep moving and stay healthy. But with gyms closed for over 4 months now, what exactly can you do to stay in shape? EAC News reporter Reo Soko has the answer.
With gyms currently closed due to COVID-19 restrictions and school sports fields also out of bounds, you might be left wondering what you can do to stay fit and healthy. Those under quarantine or self-isolation have it especially hard, locked in a hotel room or small apartment for 14 days. But you don't need dumbbells and barbells to stay in shape. Just use what you have around you. EAC News' own Alessio Mizuni is a fitness coach, and he showed us the type of exercises you can do anywhere.
When it comes to physical exercise, instead, there's this broadly common misconception that we need a gym to work out, right? This is what all people do. But it's not true. In fact, that's just an excuse. We just need a space that can be 3 by 3 square meters, and we can just do our squats. Easy. We just need a floor. We can do our sit-ups. We just need a yoga mat, for example, if we don't want to sit on the floor. Or we can do push-ups. We just need a floor, or to make it easier, we can use an angle and use, for example, a table.
Alessio says nutrition is also important, so lay off the junk food.
Gyms might be closed, but that's no excuse not to do some exercise. Your local park is a great place to exercise. If that's not an option, there's always a home-based workout. Remember, if there's a will, there's a way. Rhea Soko, EAC News, Phnom Penh.
You're watching EAC News. Thank you for joining us. The eastern province of Dabong Khmum has been rocked by a shocking murder. A 5-year-old boy has been killed by his 15-year-old neighbor. The little boy was reported missing on Monday and was found floating in a pond late on Tuesday night. The 15-year-old suspect is now in custody. EAC News reporter Reo Soko has the details.
It was just after lunchtime on Monday that the parents of the 5-year-old boy went to their local police station to report that their son was missing. Police officers and neighbors conducted a search. His body was found at midnight on Tuesday in a small pond. Police immediately traced who was with the young boy before he went missing. It was his 15-year-old neighbor. After questioning, he allegedly confessed. Child Protection Unit Director James McCabe posted on the group's Facebook page that the 5-year-old had been beaten before he was drowned. It's alleged the 15-year-old became angry when his little neighbor swore at him. The CPU says the suspect is likely to be charged with aggravated murder of a child. Rhea Soko, EAC News.
You're watching EAC News. Thank you for joining us. With the pandemic starting to have an impact on food prices, the Ministry of Commerce says it is not engaged in price fixing. It says only the basic trading principle of supply and demand is at play. Food prices have been rising in recent weeks as border closures and increases in fuel prices cause havoc for transport and logistics companies. Rumors have begun circulating in Cambodia's markets about rising prices recently, particularly that of pork and other fresh goods. Fingers have been pointed at the Ministry of Commerce, but it says it is not fixing prices, either at markets or at the petrol pump. It says it is guided by the country's constitution and trade agreements with neighboring countries. It has reminded Cambodians that international oil prices have been climbing in recent months as major economies reopen around the world. This has a knock-on effect for transport costs, which in turn drive up the price of food. Border closures and increased logistical challenges are also having an impact on food prices. It does say, though, that any food producer found to be taking advantage of the situation and engaging in price gouging will be investigated if reported by members of the public. You're watching EAC News. Thank you for joining us. Well, let's take a look now at stories making international headlines this Wednesday, the 21st of July. Typhoon Sempaka has made landfall in the coastal area of South China's Guangdong province. It's the first typhoon to make landfall in China this year. It slammed into the city of Yangjiang on Tuesday night, packing winds of almost 120 kilometers an hour. The city has blocked traffic from roads. It has also called back 384 fishing vessels. Over 7,500 people have been evacuated. The storm has played havoc with flight schedules. 127 flights have been cancelled at Baiyun International Airport. The typhoon is forecast to bring torrential rain to the southern part of the Pearl River Delta and the western part of Guangdong province. It is also going to affect weather in Cambodia with windstorms and heavy rain over the next few days. Elsewhere in China, record rainfall has prompted the worst floods in living memory, which have claimed the lives of at least 12 people. The central province of Henan usually sees very little rain during the summer. Some of its rivers, including tributaries of the Yellow River, have seen their water levels rise dramatically. They are expected to burst their banks in the coming days. According to China's meteorological department, the provincial capital of Zhengzhou saw 253 millimeters of rain in just 24 hours. Another nearby town received over 400 millimeters. Streets and subways have all been submerged. Motorists are stranded. Flights have all been cancelled. 10,000 people have been evacuated. And it might look like a regular middle-class home from the outside, but inside it's like something out of Imperial Russia. Money clearly can't buy taste, even when it's all from corruption. The owner of this mini mansion is a traffic cop who was arrested on Tuesday. He'd been running an extortion gang, extorting huge bribes from cargo transporters. Together with his 35 accomplices, he'd bribed his way to a bank balance of almost $250,000. Just a pity he didn't think of hiring an interior designer.
Welcome back to the Daily Roundup. You're watching EAC News, and thank you for joining us. Just 2 days to go to the opening ceremony of the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games, and athletes are treading a fine line. Tokyo 2020 CEO Toshiro Muto says organizers have not yet ruled out a last-minute cancellation. The Olympic torch continues its way through the streets of Tokyo, with small groups of spectators gathering to see the flame. But the excitement could end up being a major anticlimax. At a media briefing, the CEO of the Games said we can't predict what will happen to the numbers of coronavirus cases, so we will continue discussions if there is a spike. Japan, earlier this month, declared a state of emergency in the host city, banning spectators from attending events. But there is also a lot of support and optimism.
May the Olympic torch be a symbol of hope that traverses the planet.
World Health Organization head Tedros Adhanom said on Wednesday that the Tokyo Olympics should go ahead and demonstrate to the world what can be achieved with the right planning and organization. Only time will tell. You are watching EAC News, and thank you for joining us. The world's first space tourists have enjoyed a history-making trip, but it was short, exactly 10 minutes and 10 seconds. Amazon founder Jeff Bezos' company Blue Origin successfully flew him and 3 other passengers 107 kilometers up into the sky and back down to Earth. It was a historic trip and one loaded with symbolism. The date was no accident, the 20th of July, exactly 52 years to the day since Apollo 11 landed on the moon in 1969. The Blue Origin capsule sat atop of the New Shepard rocket named after Alan Shepard, the first American in space. It carried Bezos and his brother, Mark, as well as the oldest person ever to fly into space, 82-year-old Wally Frank.
Here, catch. Oh yeah, ding dong balls. Ready? Woohoo! Here it comes.
It also carried the world's youngest space traveler, 18-year-old Oliver Damon, whose dad spent $28 million on his ticket. The four spent 3 minutes in zero gravity before parachuting back down to Earth. Bezos described it as the best day ever. It came only 9 days after Virgin Galactic completed its first manned flight, and wealthy people around the world are now ready to book their seats for an out-of-the-world kind of holiday.
EAC News fully supports the Royal Government of Cambodia's preventative and administrative measures against COVID-19. But we need you to play your part in helping bring the 20 February community transmission event to an end. Wash your hands regularly, sanitize wherever possible. Keep an eye on your body temperature. Use the Stop COVID QR code and maintain a safe social distance. But above all, please, please, please wear a mask. Only together can we beat COVID-19. eArts Cambodia's audience is growing. Our YouTube channel now has 150,000 verified subscribers. To mark the milestone, we've received the Silver Creator Award from YouTube, given to channels with over 100,000 subscribers. YouTube CEO Susan Wojcicki says the award celebrates eArts Cambodia's hard work and incredible achievement. She says not only has eArts Cambodia brought a unique voice and style to the world, but has also created valuable connections and built a community along the way. The next milestone we're going for is 1 million subscribers, and we'd really like that Gold Creator Award. So if you're not already a subscriber, head to www.youtube.com/eArtsCambodia. Subscribers get all the latest breaking news and updates from Cambodia in English. We'll see you there. If it's happening and you need to know about it, you'll get it all right here. EAC News brings you updates and breaking news in English across all of eArts Cambodia's platforms and channels. YouTube, Facebook, Telegram, Twitter, and our website, www.eartscambodia.com. Join me, Andrew Barnes-Roberts, and the rest of the EAC News team every day on your favorite channels. EAC News, Cambodia made clear. You're watching EAC News. Thank you for joining us. The Phnom Penh Capital Administration is urging those residents who have not yet had their second dose of vaccine to do so before the 15th of August. It has reopened district health centers for vaccinations and is appealing to people to come forward. The health ministry says just one shot of vaccine offers very little protection from COVID-19, which is why getting fully inoculated is so important, especially if the capital is to be reopened. Sporadic outbreaks have closed the city's markets in recent weeks, and on Tuesday, they hit 2 pagodas. EAC News reporter Reo Soko has the details.
Wat Ratanaram, or Wat Tultumpong, is one of the capital's landmarks. At least 40 monks have tested positive for COVID-19. Anyone who visited the pagoda between the 9th and 18th of July is being asked to self-isolate for 14 days and contact health authorities if they develop any symptoms. Across town in Sinsok, a number of construction workers have also tested positive at Wat Samrong Anday. It is incidents such as this that Phnom Penh City Hall wants to put an end to if the capital is to be reopened. Its vaccination drive officially ended on the 8th of July, but several thousand citizens only ever received their first dose. Health Ministry spokeswoman Dr. Orvanden says people might think that after getting the first dose, they will have total immunity from the virus, but they are still vulnerable and must complete the inoculation process.
If you have had only one dose of vaccine, you're being urged to get the second dose as soon as possible. All of Phnom Penh's health districts will be open for vaccination until Sunday, the 15th of August. You can also contact your local Sangkat office for more information. Rhea Soko, EAC News, Phnom Penh.
You're watching EAC News. Thank you for joining us. The Asian Development Bank has proclaimed that the health system in Cambodia has been boosted by its 6-year assistance project. The ADB says the kingdom's national health adaptation plans are now capable of dealing with health risks associated with climate change. Over the past 6 years, the ADB has been conducting vulnerability and adaptation assessments for 14 high-risk provinces in Cambodia, Laos, and Vietnam. Almost 1,500 healthcare workers have been trained. EAC News reporter Reo Soko has the story.
The project was called Strengthening Resilience to Climate Change in the Health Sector in the Greater Mekong Subregion. The 6-year project focused on Cambodia, Vietnam, and Laos' ability to respond to climate change-related health emergencies such as dengue fever, malaria, and heat stress. The project was approved in 2015 with a $4.4 million grant from the Nordic Development Fund and was co-financed by the 3 participating countries. ADB Director of Human and Social Development in Southeast Asia, Ms. Ayako Inagaki says the project has helped to reduce their vulnerability to climate-induced health risks, especially among vulnerable populations. ADB Country Director for Cambodia, Ms. Sunia Durrani Hamal, says that with a newly completed national plan to make health systems more resilient to climate change, Cambodia is now better equipped to protect communities, not only against climate change, but also COVID-19. Rhea Soko, EAC News.
You're watching EAC News. Thank you for joining us. More than 100 vendors in Kep have lost their businesses after Monday night's fire at the town's White Horse Market. Both the Kep Provincial Commission and Kampot Provincial Commission responded to the blaze. Investigators believe it was caused by an electrical fault in a light that had been left on. Almost the entire market was destroyed. The alarm was first raised at about 6 p.m. when thick black smoke was seen rising from the market's roof. Fortunately, the vendors themselves had already left. Residents rushed to call the fire department with trucks from Kep and Kampot both responding. It took about 2 hours for the fire to be brought under control. The extent of the damage is still being assessed, but while no one was injured, over 100 stalls have been destroyed. You're watching EAC News. Thank you for joining us. And finally, China's Yunnan province is set to declare a new national park to protect the region's elephants. Their habitat has been shrinking in recent years owing to human encroachment, but that has had a surprise upside, like the one filmed on Monday. Visitors to Yunnan's wild elephant valley don't normally get up this close and personal with the valley's residents. This lone female decided to take a bath under a footbridge. Protection officers say the animals are usually spotted only in February and March when the females are looking to mate. Wild Elephant Valley is in Yunnan's Xishuangbanna region on the border with Laos and Myanmar. Elephants have captured the Chinese imagination in recent months. A herd of 15 recently migrated north from the valley to the outskirts of Yunnan's capital, Kunming, a 500-kilometer trek that became a social media sensation. The new national park will further protect the elephants, which have enjoyed a rebound in numbers over the past 20 years. Their population is thought to have doubled.
Welcome back to the Daily Roundup. You're watching EAC News. I'm Alessio Mizzoni, and thank you for joining us. The COVID-delayed Tokyo Olympics get underway on Friday. They'll be the first to be held behind closed doors, with the host city under a state of emergency because of a surge in COVID-19 cases. The International Olympic Committee says the Games will be safe despite the pandemic, but they'll make history for other reasons too. Gaza weightlifter Mohamed Hamada will be the first Palestinian to compete in the sport. Getting around in the world nowadays is not easy, and even less if you're from Palestine. The 19-year-old left Gaza several weeks ago to ensure he faced no issues traveling to the Games. He secured his place after 6 international qualifying contests over the past 2 years. He told Reuters, "When I get to Tokyo, I will do the impossible, and I will exert every effort to be distinctive." Palestine has been participating in the Olympic Games since 1996, but this will be the first time they're represented in weightlifting. Days before the Games, President of the International Olympic Committee, Thomas Bach, says the event will send a powerful message of peace and solidarity. He says the stage is set for the athletes to shine and inspire the world with their achievements, effort, emotions, joy and tears, creating the magic of the Olympic Games. You're watching EAC News, and thank you for joining us. Safety measures are a pillar for the success of the Tokyo Olympics, but the athletes are human and they have their needs too. A video of an Irish gymnast jumping on a bed to prove that they are okay, in fact, for sex, has gone viral on the internet and received a response from the International Olympic Committee. Beds have become a hot topic of the Olympic Village after Olympic runner Paul Chelimo tweeted that the beds are made of high-resistance, lightweight cardboard, were made to avoid any intimacy between athletes. Irish gymnast Rhys McClanahan then promptly debunked the fake news by jumping on one of the beds and posting the video on social media. Olympic organizers in Tokyo have felt the urge to clarify things, pointing out that the beds are indeed made of cardboard, and this will be the first time in the Olympic and Paralympic history that all beds and bedding are made almost entirely from renewable materials. They'll be recycled into paper products after the Games, with the mattress components recycled into the new plastic products. When it comes to Olympic romances, Tokyo organizers have distributed 160,000 condoms to athletes. They say the condom distribution is meant to raise awareness about HIV and is not a sign of encouragement during the coronavirus pandemic.
EAC News fully supports the Royal Government of Cambodia's preventative and administrative measures against COVID-19. But we need you to play your part in helping bring the 20 February community transmission event to an end. Wash your hands regularly, sanitize wherever possible. Keep an eye on your body temperature. Use the Stop COVID QR code and maintain a safe social distance. But above all, please, 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 wear a mask. Only together can we beat COVID-19. eArts Cambodia's audience is growing. Our YouTube channel now has 150,000 verified subscribers. To mark the milestone, we've received the Silver Creator Award from YouTube, given to channels with over 100,000 subscribers. YouTube CEO Susan Wojcicki says the award celebrates eArts Cambodia's hard work and incredible achievement. She says not only has eArts Cambodia brought a unique voice and style to the world, but has also created valuable connections and built a community along the way. The next milestone we're going for is 1 million subscribers, and we'd really like that Gold Creator Award. So if you're not already a subscriber, head to www.youtube.com/eArts Cambodia. Subscribers get all the latest breaking news and updates from Cambodia in English. We'll see you there. If it's happening and you need to know about it, you'll get it all right here. EAC News brings you updates and breaking news in English across all of eArts Cambodia's platforms and channels. YouTube, Facebook, Telegram, Twitter, and our website, www.eartscambodia.com. Join me, Andrew Barnes-Roberts, and the rest of the EAC News team every day on your favorite channels. EAC News, Cambodia made clear.
T-minus 16, guidance internal. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, command and start, 2, 1.
That's incredible. To space. Unbelievable. Is it everything you thought it would be? Here, look. Oliver. Move your head just a little. Oh, that's great. Can you move your head a little while it flaps?
Oh, yeah. Hi, Mom. I love it.
Oh, wow. Look at the blackness of space. Unbelievable. Here, catch.
Oh, yeah.
Ding dong balls. Ready?
Woohoo!
Here it comes. Yeah, you just have to wait for it. Who wants a Skittle?
Oh, yeah. Sure one.
With your arm, and I'm going to pull you down. Alright, see if you can catch this in your mouth. Yeah! Well done! Here, toss me one. Let me try.
Here it goes. Oh, sure. Mid fast.
Here, try again.
I can't get it up. I got you. Oh, wow.
No,
Incoming. Oh.
You're so good.
Here. wow.
Oh my god.
Woo!
This is incredible. Enjoy that.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Oh, wow.
Man, this
Oh,
is
yeah.
different, isn't it?
It's a little different. I cannot.
Oh, wow. Guys,
Thank you,
take a moment to
sweetheart.
look outside.
Wonderful.
Oliver, status check. Oh, sorry. Blue control, Oliver, status perfect. In seat.
Stand by drogues. Stand by mains. Stand by mains.
Get in here more.
Caitlin, you ready? Family, are we ready?
A beautiful moment there.
Thank you.
For a woman who was denied her opportunity to go to space in the 60s, she had to wait till the 2020s.
You're watching EAC News. Thank you for joining us. Cambodia is on the hunt for its best tourism villages. The Ministry of Tourism has announced that 3 model villages will be selected to compete with other villages from around the world. The director of the Department of International and ASEAN Cooperation in the Ministry of Tourism, Mr. Tri Chiv, says the selection also forms part of the country's post-pandemic tourism rehabilitation roadmap. EAC News reporter Reo Soko has the details.
The UN's World Tourism Organization has launched its Best Tourism Villages initiative to identify those small towns taking new and transformative approaches to tourism in rural areas, in line with its Sustainable Development Goals. Secretary General of the UN's World Tourism Organization, Mr. Zurab Pululikashvili, says they want to recognize the uniqueness of each village and showcase the best initiatives, making tourism a means for a better future in rural areas.
A best tourism villages is a village with a vision of tourism as a tool of inclusive and sustainable development. A village with a great natural and cultural resources. A village committed to promoting and preserving its nature and culture. A village that values its gastronomy, its crafts and its people. A village working for the well-being of its residents and visitors.
Founder and chairman of Pumi Kat Trukun in Kandal province, Mr. Din Sumitieret, says he is interested to know about the competition if his resort qualifies.
So I call Pumi Kat Trukun, that means morning glory village, because that area there are plenty of morning glory flower in their season of flower blossom. So that's why I put the name by myself. I don't know exactly my project gonna consider as a tourist village or not, but actually it is a retirement home and resort. So I have land more than 100 hectares. So I have big lake I created. I have many tourist activity over there, like you can come with friends, family, cycling, walking, where people can go there for weekend.
The Ministry of Tourism's Mr. Tri Chiu says Cambodia will look at a total of 100 villages. The 3 winners will be named before the end of next month and will focus on community tourism, ecotourism, and island tourism. Chiu has also added that this competition will provide opportunities for villages with the most tourism potential to be developed into attractive tourist destinations that will be known around the world. Rhea Soko, EAC News.
You're watching EAC News. Thank you for joining us. The Apsara Authority says the restoration of the West Top Temple in Siem Reap is about 60% complete. The ancient temple, located in Angkor Thom, has been hit hard by over-tourism and erosion in recent years. Experts from the Apsara Authority, in collaboration with the Nara National Institute of Japan, started renovations 4 years ago. Project coordinator Mr. Lam Sopiak says they've done a lot of work restoring the temple to its original state. He says they're using about 20 to 25% new stones to replace those that are just too decayed to bring back. West Top Temple is a Buddhist temple with 3 towers on the same foundation facing east. It is believed to have been built in the 10th century. The restoration project is expected to be finished next March. You're watching EAC News. Thank you for joining us. The royal government has delivered much-needed COVID-19 aid to Vietnam as it battles a massive surge in cases across the Mekong Delta. On Monday morning, Secretary of State in the Ministry of Health, Ms. Yuc Sambat, delivered the relief to Ho Chi Minh, the epicenter of the region's outbreak. The delivery came a day after Cambodia's border closure with Vietnam came into effect for 30 days to guard against any further spread of the Delta variant. EAC News reporter Reo Soko has the story.
Vietnam's Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh called a virtual emergency meeting last Thursday, urging cross-border unity and assistance. He says Ho Chi Minh and the entire southern economic region are experiencing an unprecedented outbreak. The entire Mekong Delta region of Vietnam is now under a 2-week lockdown. On Saturday, Prime Minister Hun Sen responded to Vietnam's call, announcing that aid would be provided: 1 million N95 masks, 100 oxygen generators, and $200,000 in cash have now been delivered. The Prime Minister says the support is a show of cooperation on behalf of friendly countries to join in the fight against COVID-19. The Cambodian Red Cross, chaired by the Prime Minister's wife, has also donated $100,000 cash to the Vietnam Red Cross, while the Cambodia-Vietnam Friendship Association is also making a $50,000 donation. As of Monday, Vietnam has a total of 51,002 people infected with COVID-19. 225 deaths have been reported. Rhea Soko, EAC News.
You're watching EAC News. Thank you for joining us. The Shanghai Astronomy Museum has officially opened its doors in China with 58 square kilometers of floor space that is the largest of its kind in the world. And space is exactly what it's all about. The museum has been designed to mirror the orbits of the solar system. There isn't a sharp angle in sight. The planetarium has been designed to represent a sphere that appears to float. Inside, it's all about as immersive an experience as possible. Visitors can take a trip into the starry night in the state-of-the-art optical planetarium theater. It is said to be the most realistic in the world, with millions of optical fibers creating an out-of-this-world experience. There are also exhibits about the planets, the sun, and the Milky Way. Tickets are not so out of this world, just over $6 for adults, $3 for children. You're watching EAC News. Thank you for joining us. Well, let's take a look now at news making international headlines this Monday, the 19th of July. Chaos in Bangkok this weekend as Thai police fired water cannon, tear gas and rubber bullets at protesters who were trying to march on the office of the Prime Minister, calling for him to resign. More than 1,000 protesters took part despite an expanded coronavirus lockdown. Demonstrators carried mock body bags to represent COVID-19 deaths, blaming the Prime Minister and his government for mismanaging the pandemic. Police used brute force when some protesters tried to dismantle barbed wire and metal barricades. The protest marked 1 year since the first of a wave of large-scale street protests led by youth groups. Thailand reported 11,397 new infections and 101 more deaths on Sunday, bringing the country's totals to 403,386 cases and 3,341 fatalities. German Chancellor Angela Merkel has described the flooding that has devastated parts of Western Europe as terrifying. The death toll across the region has risen to over 188, most of them in the German region of Bavaria. It is the worst natural disaster in Germany in almost 60 years. The European floods began last Wednesday and have swamped much of Germany, the Netherlands, Austria, and Belgium. Entire communities have been cut off without power or communication. And Oregon's bootleg fire shows no signs of stopping. Raging now for over a week, it has become the state's 5th largest blaze in more than a century. It has already scorched an area bigger than New York City. The flames have destroyed at least 21 homes and 54 other structures. A further 5,000 homes are threatened. Almost 2,000 firefighters and a dozen helicopters and airplanes are tackling the fire. Bootleg is by far the biggest of 70 active wildfires currently burning in 12 states. Almost 750,000 hectares have gone up in smoke.
Welcome back to the Daily Roundup. You're watching EAC News, and thank you for joining us. The COVID-delayed 2020 Olympics get underway on Friday. The opening ceremony will culminate in the lighting of the Olympic flame. The torch relay is on its 10th day in Tokyo, with torchbearers passing the Olympic flame with a torch kiss in front of a small gatherings of spectators. The rainy season is over and blazing heat has returned to the Japanese capital. After weeks of winding through every prefecture in Japan, the torch relay and the Olympic flame now travel to different parts of Tokyo before their opening ceremony on Friday. Despite the typical great excitement, there's also a great deal of concern, with the first positive COVID-19 cases at the Olympic Village. South Africa have confirmed 3 cases in their soccer squad. As a result, the whole team has been quarantined. The Tokyo 2020 Games, postponed for a year due to the pandemic, are being held mostly behind closed doors with no spectators. You are watching EAC News, and thank you for joining us. The airline industry could soon have a zero-carbon footprint. The US firm Universal Hydrogen is poised to announce preliminary deals with airlines as it looks at a possible listing as early as next year. It means passenger jets could soon be ditching oil for carbon-neutral hydrogen. Universal Hydrogen was founded in 2020. Among its investors are Toyota and Airbus. Europe's Airbus, which is the world's largest airliner manufacturer, wants to introduce 100-seat hydrogen-powered airliners by 2035. Universal Hydrogen wants to beat that deadline by 10 years. It wants smaller hydrogen-powered regional jets in the air by 2025. The company is one of a cluster of businesses flocking to the effort to decarbonize the airline industry. The simplest element in the world could guarantee zero carbon emissions, but is also highly flammable, and there are still key logistical problems to solve, such as how to connect to airports where refueling would be done. Just how long we'll need to wait before we see a hydrogen-powered plane land at Phnom Penh International, we're not sure. But with the pandemic still raging and many airliners grounded, no one is in a hurry.
EAC News fully supports the Royal Government of Cambodia's preventative and administrative measures against COVID-19. But we need you to play your part in helping bring the 20 February community transmission event to an end. Wash your hands regularly, sanitize wherever possible. Keep an eye on your body temperature. Use the Stop COVID QR code and maintain a safe social distance. But above all, please, 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 wear a mask. Only together can we beat COVID-19. eArts Cambodia's audience is growing. Our YouTube channel now has 150,000 verified subscribers. To mark the milestone, we've received the Silver Creator Award from YouTube, given to channels with over 100,000 subscribers. YouTube CEO Susan Wojcicki says the award celebrates eArts Cambodia's hard work and incredible achievement. She says not only has eArts Cambodia brought a unique voice and style to the world, but has also created valuable connections and built a community along the way. The next milestone we're going for is 1 million subscribers, and we'd really like that Gold Creator Award. So if you're not already a subscriber, head to www.youtube.com/eArtsCambodia. Subscribers get all the latest breaking news and updates from Cambodia in English. We'll see you there. If it's happening and you need to know about it, you'll get it all right here. EAC News brings you updates and breaking news in English across all of eArts Cambodia's platforms and channels. YouTube, Facebook, Telegram, Twitter, and our website www.eartscambodia.com. Join me, Andrew Barnes-Roberts, and the rest of the EAC News team every day on your favorite channels. EAC News, Cambodia made clear.
Proca ដោយអត់មានថយអីសោះ
ហេតុអីបានជាជំងឺ COVID-19 នៅតែឆ្លងច្រើនរាល់ថ្ងៃអញ្ចឹងយើងខំប្រឹងការពារដែរហ្នឹង
មកពីយើងទាំងអស់គ្នាហ្នឹងអនុវត្ត3កុំ3ការពារមិនបានត្រឹមត្រូវ
មិនត្រឹមត្រូវយ៉ាងម៉េចទៅលោកមេភូមិ
បងប្អូនមួយចំនួនគាត់ភ្លេចខ្លួនមិនអនុវត្ត3កុំ3ការពារជាពិសេសបងប្អូនមួយចំនួនគាត់មិនអនុវត្ត3កុំគាត់ទៅកន្លែងមានមនុស្សច្រើនកន្លែងបិទជិតមិនមានខ្យល់ចេញចូលល្អកន្លែងចង្អៀតដោយមិនបានអនុវត្ត3ការពារទេកន្លែងទាំងអស់ហ្នឹងធ្វើឲ្យការចម្លងវីរុស COVID-19 លឿនណាស់បើមានអ្នកណាម្នាក់មាន COVID-19 ចូលមកនោះវីរុសឆ្លងតគ្នាលឿនណាស់ហើយអ្នកទាំងនោះនាំទៅឆ្លងដល់គ្រួសារឆ្លងចូលភូមិទាំងរយអ្នកអញ្ចឹងទៅ
វិធានការ3កុំ3ការពារនេះសំខាន់ណាស់យើងគ្រប់គ្នាត្រូវចូលរួមអនុវត្តឲ្យបានត្រឹមត្រូវដើម្បីការពារមហន្តរាយដល់គ្រួសារយើងនិងសង្គមជាតិយើង
You're watching EAC News. Thank you for joining us. Cambodia's daily COVID-19 death toll is back in the 30s. 34 deaths were reported overnight, taking the country's total number of COVID-related fatalities to 1,222. The daily death toll appeared to have been stabilizing, being at or around 20 for the past week. The numbers were confirmed by the Ministry of Health at noon on Friday. 825 new cases have been reported in the past 24 hours. 335 of these are imported. They take the country's total case number to 71,244. But recoveries are still outpacing new cases. 897 patients discharged overnight, taking the total number of successful treatments to 63,474. You're watching EAC News. Thank you for joining us. Cambodia's National Council for Children is appealing to the public for understanding of the situation of the minor who has killed his 5-year-old neighbor in Tabongkamun. EAC News has confirmed that the suspect is 14 years old, not 15, as previously reported. CNCC Deputy Secretary General Ms. Samba Tsukuntia has told EAC News that his age has a direct impact on how the case is being handled. EAC News reporter Reo Soko explains.
Article 14 of Cambodia's Juvenile Justice Law Strategic and Operational Plan 2018-2020 says that a minor below 14 years old who is suspected of committing an offense shall not be apprehended and will be referred to their district representative. CNCC Deputy Secretary General Ms. Sambat Sokontia has clarified that the minor in question is 14. Deputy Chief of the Chuk Commune, where the murder was committed, Sun Minglai, has also confirmed the child's age. But the fact that he is 14 and not under 14 has created a gray area for the court. He was going to be sent to Provincial Social Affairs but was returned to the court on Wednesday night, given that he is not under the age of 14. He remains in the care of the court until a further decision is made. In the meantime, local resident Pan Dun submitted an affidavit to the court stating that the child suspect is homeless and has no parents taking care of him. He apparently sleeps in the local pagoda. According to the